Hi everyone, welcome back to the Brush by Brandy YouTube channel. My name is Brandy and we are going to work on a special gift. So this was not a commission or anything, but I was asked to do a baby's bedroom set, a nursery, in a really pretty theme. And I wanted to make a gift for the owner. She's been a longtime friend and customer of mine. I super appreciate her and I'm so excited for the welcoming of this brand new baby. So I wanted to make a present for her. And so I made her a baby's growth chart. So we're going to make a growth chart. These are great gift ideas. They're something that you can make at home. They're really easy to do. And I know that I've always used mine for my kids. So that I hope that it will be something that can be used for her as well as she grows up to be able to track those milestones. But it's really fun, you guys. So we're going to do some stenciling. We're going to use a transfer. And this project comes out really cute. It's a great gift idea. So where do I start on making these children's growth charts? You want to pick up some fence pickets from the hardware store, and these can be in cedar or redwood. You want to make sure they're as straight as possible. You can make these in any different designs. Here's a variety that I made. That's my little niece right there. The pickets do come a little bit rough, so you want to sand them smooth. I'm using my Surf Prep sander, and I start out with an 80 grit paper to get this nice and smooth, and then move up to a 120 grit. This is going in a baby's room, so you don't want to have any rough edges on it. This is raw wood, so I want to make sure and prime it. I'm going to use primer in white. I chose white primer for my project because my background color on this is going to be white as well. This primer is going to help me get better coverage with my paint, and it's also going to block in all those oils from the wood and keep my paint from discoloring over time. After 2 coats of my white primer is nice and dry, I'm going to go ahead and apply my paint color. This is paint in Snow Owl. I chose Snow Owl for these because it matches the furniture pieces that are also going in this baby's nursery. The next thing I need to do is mark out my lines on this growth chart. So I'm going to use a yardstick and I'm going to mark out every inch on the chart. I start my marking 6 inches up to allow for base moldings in any room where this might be hung. With my markings all laid out, it's time to add some color to my growth chart. I chose 3 different colors that tie in with the furniture pieces for this bedroom. This first color is a soft antique pink that's called 1987 from Paint. This is going to be the perfect little accent. I'm also going to stencil in some smoky quartz. That's the gray that I used on these furniture pieces. And then I chose some gold gilding wax as my third color. I'm using a stencil that I picked up years ago at Hobby Lobby, but it's been the perfect number stencil to make these growth charts. The numbers on it are about 3 inches tall, which is a great size for these. I picked up the slightest amount of paint on my paintbrush, just using the lid of my can on an artist brush, and I'm just using a dabbing motion to fill in my stencil lines. I did end up doing 2 coats of each stencil, and that's because I wanted the most saturated coverage possible. I didn't want any of that white peeking through, and I never like any of the stencil lines, the gaps that the stencil leaves when you pick it up. So once I picked that up, I went ahead and came back and touched those up using my artist brush. You can see here, I'm just going to fill in those little lines so this looks like a continuous number and you can't tell that I used a stencil. Since I'm using 3 different colors on this growth chart, I alternated my colors on my numbers and I did every 3rd number in this 1987 pink color. I also use a stencil to mark out my inch lines, and for this one I couldn't find the right stencil that I wanted, so I used the bottom line on this letter E from another stencil that I had. It worked out to be perfect. It was exactly the right width, and then where the feet marks are, I went ahead and made those a little bit longer so they stand out. Using stencils for these lines just allows me to get them nice and clean and crisp and even every time. Once I have all my stencil markings laid out, I want to go ahead and add a soft floral to this. And this floral is from Redesign with Prima. This is the transfer that I also use on the furniture pieces for this baby's nursery. And I want this to tie in with those pieces. It's also a nice soft neutral floral to go in this background. I laid it out on my growth chart so that it weaves in and out of the numbers. I dry fit the florals to the growth chart to see which ones fit best and kind of have that nice long weave. And then once I found them, I cut them out and I'm going to rub it on using the stick that comes in the package with the transfer and pull away that clear backing sheet to leave that floral on my growth chart. It was a little hard to apply the transfer with this piece standing up like this, so I went ahead and laid it out on my workbench for my next one. That was a much easier application to have the steady base underneath. Here you can see the pretty alternating colors of my numbers. I've got that pink, the gold gilding wax, and then the soft gray that I used. This was a beautiful combination. So just a few tips when you're making these growth charts. I did seal this in a matte varnish from Wise Owl, and that's the perfect sealer. I try not to use anything with gloss in it because I want these to be able to be written on with a Sharpie, and I want that Sharpie to stay in place. A matte or a low sheen top coat is perfect for these. The white background or a light color is also great because I want those number markings to be able to be seen when the owner marks on them with a Sharpie to mark the baby's height. And so using a light background is going to make those as visible as possible. Overall, these are a really fun and easy to make gift idea. You can personalize them, use any design that you want on there to customize it to the nursery. You can also put the baby's name on them. The number of possibilities are truly endless, and they're a super fun project to do. So here is my completed growth chart, all sealed up in my matte varnish and in the baby's nursery. What do you guys think? This was a fun project. You can find links for everything I use in the description for this post. You can find the videos for the rest of this nursery set up now on my YouTube channel. As always, you can find more Brush by Brandy on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and YouTube, and on my website at brushbybrandy.com. And if you enjoyed this video, I hope you'll click that subscribe button.